People often think that attraction is some mysterious formula, that it's about doing something extraordinary or out of the box. But the truth, the things that make someone completely lose control around you are not complicated. They're not tricks. They're not games. They're rooted in human psychology. When we talk about these 4 positions, we're not talking about something you need to memorize like steps in a dance routine. We're talking about positions of energy, positions of confidence, positions of connection that completely flip the switch in attraction. Because here's the truth, attraction isn't about chasing. It's not about begging for someone's attention. It's about stepping into an energy where someone feels pulled toward you. And when you understand how to do that, you don't have to overthink, you don't have to doubt, and you don't have to compete. So today, I want to walk you through these 4 positions that make him lose control. Not because they're tricks, but because they unlock something primal, something irresistible in human connection. And once you understand them, you'll never again wonder if you're enough. You'll know exactly how to stand, how to carry yourself, and how to connect in a way that flips attraction in your favor every single time. When most people think about attraction, they immediately picture looks. They think about bodies, clothes, style, or how perfect someone appears. But here's the truth, attraction runs much deeper than the surface. It's psychological. It's the feeling someone creates inside you that makes them irresistible. Think about it, you've probably met someone incredibly attractive, but the second they opened their mouth, their charm disappeared. On the flip side, you've met someone you weren't sure about at first, but their energy, humor, and confidence pulled you in like a magnet. That's proof that attraction doesn't live in appearances alone. It lives in psychology. It's about how someone makes you feel. And when you begin to understand the psychological side of attraction, you stop trying to compete on looks, and instead, you learn to connect in a way that makes you unforgettable. Psychological attraction is about the brain's response to presence. When you walk into a room with confidence, calmness, and certainty, people notice. Not because you said a word, but because energy speaks louder than appearance. Have you ever seen someone who isn't traditionally the best-looking person in the room, yet somehow everyone is drawn to them? That's psychology at work. Confidence signals safety. Charisma signals excitement. Humor signals intelligence. These things bypass the surface and create a pull that's irresistible. We're wired to crave connection with people who make us feel alive, safe, and understood. And that's why psychology beats physicality every time. Looks can grab attention, but psychology is what keeps it. Think about relationships that lasted in your life. Did they survive because of perfect hair, flawless skin, or sharp suits? No. They lasted because of how someone made you feel consistently over time. That's what we crave at the core. Someone who can excite us, challenge us, and at the same time comfort us. That's the gold. You can admire a face, but you fall in love with a mind. That's why attraction, when built on the psychological level, doesn't fade with age. It deepens. A person becomes more magnetic, more desirable, and more unforgettable as their confidence grows, as their kindness shines, as their energy radiates. The outside may change, but the inside keeps you hooked. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Psychology can override initial disinterest. You may not notice someone right away, but when their personality, humor, and presence unfold, suddenly you can't stop thinking about them. That's because the brain attaches meaning to emotions more strongly than it attaches meaning to appearances. We replay conversations in our heads, not jawlines. We crave the way someone looked at us when they laughed, not the way they styled their hair. It's those small psychological hooks, moments of humor, presence, vulnerability, that create the deepest kind of attraction. And once that bond forms, it's almost impossible to break. Many people underestimate this. They think they're losing in love because they don't look a certain way. But in reality, what they're missing is the psychological game. Looks may open a door, but psychology gets you invited inside. Attraction builds when you know how to create tension, how to make someone feel understood, how to give them just enough to crave more. That's not about beauty, it's about energy and intentionality. The truth is, people forget how you looked in a moment. What they never forget is how you made them feel. That's the essence of psychological attraction. The beauty of this truth is that psychology is something you can build, unlike genetics or external features. Confidence, humor, charisma, and presence are skills you can learn to walk into a room with certainty. You can train yourself to listen deeply and respond with intention. You can practice being playful, mysterious, or bold in the right moments. Every time you do, you're adding layers to your psychological presence, and those layers become far more irresistible than any physical feature. The surface might get someone's attention for 5 minutes, but your psychological magnetism keeps them thinking about you for weeks, months, even years. So how do you start leaning into this? You focus less on being perfect and more on being present. You stop worrying about whether someone will notice you, and you instead ask, how can I create a moment here that they'll never forget? Maybe it's sharing a story with raw vulnerability. Maybe it's being playful when everyone else is stiff. Maybe it's the way you truly listen in a world where most people are waiting to talk. These are the tools of psychological attraction. They shift the focus away from your exterior and put it on the experience you create, and experiences, unlike looks, live forever. Attraction is psychological, not just physical. It's because the body fades, but the mind grows richer with time. When you realize this, you stop comparing yourself to others and start building the qualities that truly make someone lose control around you. Presence, confidence, humor, vulnerability, depth. These are what make you unforgettable. And the best part, anyone can develop them. You don't need to be born with them. You just need to practice them. The moment you understand this truth, you unlock a new kind of power, the ability to attract, not because of what you look like, but because of who you are. And once you have that, you'll never feel like you're not enough again. Confidence is one of the most magnetic forces in human attraction. It's that invisible energy people feel when you walk into a room. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to announce yourself. Confidence introduces you before your words ever do. And the beauty of confidence is this: it's not about arrogance or being louder than everyone else. True confidence is quiet certainty. It's the way you carry yourself, the way you make eye contact, the way you stand tall even when you feel nervous inside. That self-assurance sends a powerful message. I know my worth. And when someone sees that in you, they can't help but be drawn closer, because confidence isn't just attractive, it's contagious. It makes others feel more secure, more alive, and more willing to step into your world. The reason confidence is magnetic is simple: people want to feel safe, excited, and inspired in relationships. When you project confidence, you're telling the world that you can handle yourself, that you trust your own judgment, and that you're not afraid to take up space. That kind of energy is irresistible. Think about it: when you see someone nervous, unsure, or apologizing for existing, it creates discomfort. But when you see someone grounded, calm, and certain, even if they're not perfect, you feel comfortable around them. That comfort turns into trust, and trust is the foundation of attraction. People don't chase perfection. They chase the person who makes them feel at ease, the one who lights up the room simply by being sure of who they are. Confidence also creates curiosity. When someone is unapologetically themselves, it makes others wonder, what's their secret? They don't look like they're trying too hard, yet they stand out. That intrigue is magnetic, because confidence makes you appear mysterious without effort. You're not desperate for validation, and that alone makes people want to give you more of it. In fact, one of the biggest mistakes people make in dating is overcompensating, trying to impress, trying to perform, trying to prove their worth. But the truth is, the most impressive thing you can do is simply relax into yourself. When you believe you're enough, others start believing it too. That's the magic of confidence. It shifts the energy from chasing approval to naturally receiving it. Now, confidence doesn't mean you never feel insecure. Everyone has doubts. The difference is that confident people don't let insecurity dictate their behavior. They feel the fear but still step forward. They might think, what if I'm rejected? But then remind themselves, I'll survive and I'll grow. That resilience is magnetic, because what people are truly drawn to isn't perfection, it's courage. When someone sees you handle rejection with grace or laugh at yourself instead of crumbling, it shows emotional strength, and that strength is irresistible. It signals that you're someone who can handle life, handle challenges, and handle a relationship without falling apart. That's why confidence isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision to keep moving despite it. There's also a psychological reason confidence is so attractive: it creates scarcity. Think about it. If you're confident, you're not desperate. You don't need everyone to like you. And the moment you don't need everyone, people start working harder to win your attention. Confidence flips the script. Instead of you chasing validation, others begin chasing you. Why? Because they sense you're selective. And human nature is wired to value what is scarce. A confident person doesn't beg for time or attention. They give it as a choice. That choice makes it more valuable. The moment you start walking with confidence, you stop competing and you start becoming the prize. What's incredible is that confidence radiates beyond dating. It impacts every part of life. At work, confident people are more likely to get promotions. In friendships, they're trusted and respected. In family, they're looked to for leadership. But in love, confidence is what separates a fleeting attraction from lasting desire, because physical attraction can spark quickly, but confidence sustains it. It keeps people coming back. wondering what it is about you that makes them feel so drawn in. And here's the truth, it's not about being perfect, it's about being real, comfortable, and unapologetically you. That consistency creates the kind of magnetism that never wears off. So how do you build confidence if you don't feel it right now? You build it the same way you build muscle, through repetition. Start by keeping promises to yourself. If you say you'll do something, follow through. Every time you do, you prove to yourself that your word matters. Confidence is trust in yourself, and trust grows when you see yourself deliver again and again. Another way is to embrace small risks, start conversations, share your opinion, try new things. Each time you step out of your comfort zone, you stretch your belief in yourself. Confidence isn't built in a day, but with every action that aligns with courage, you grow stronger. Confidence creates magnetism because it tells the world, I know who I am, and I'm not afraid to show it. It's the force that makes someone lean closer, the spark that makes them curious, the comfort that makes them stay. Without confidence, even the most attractive features can be overlooked. With confidence, even imperfections become charming. That's the paradox. You don't need to be flawless to be magnetic. You just need to be certain that you're enough. And when you embody that truth, you'll notice a shift. People will stop seeing you as an option and start seeing you as the standard. That is the power of confidence. It doesn't just attract others, it transforms the way you see yourself. Attraction may start with curiosity, but it only lasts when there's connection. Connection is the ultimate trigger that takes a moment of interest and turns it into obsession. Think about it, you can find someone beautiful, stylish, or even charming at first glance, but if there's no connection, the spark dies quickly. On the other hand, when there's real connection, even the smallest interactions feel electric. That's because connection is about resonance. It's when two people meet on a deeper level that goes beyond appearance. It's the comfort of being seen, the thrill of being understood, and the excitement of feeling in sync with another person. And here's the truth, connection is what makes someone stay up at night replaying conversations, not physical perfection. It's the invisible glue that binds people together long after the initial spark. What makes connection so powerful is that it taps into our deepest human need, belonging. Every person wants to feel valued, understood, and accepted for who they are. When someone creates that space for you, when they listen deeply, engage with curiosity, and remember the little details, you feel safe. And safety is the foundation of attraction. Safety doesn't kill excitement, it enhances it. Because once you feel emotionally secure, your guard drops and chemistry can flow freely. That's why connection is magnetic. It's not about perfect lines or calculated moves. It's about authenticity. The people who create connection aren't necessarily the best looking or the funniest in the room. They're the ones who know how to make you feel like you matter. And once someone feels that, they're hooked. Connection is also the trigger that creates trust. Without trust, attraction is shallow and temporary. You might enjoy someone's company for a night, but without trust, it doesn't evolve. Trust comes when words match actions, when presence is consistent, and when vulnerability is met with respect. That's when attraction deepens, because when you trust someone, you allow yourself to be more open, playful, and bold around them. You stop holding back, and suddenly the chemistry feels explosive. People chase what feels safe and exciting at the same time, and only connection can create that balance. Physical attraction can start a fire, but connection keeps it burning. It's the oxygen that keeps passion alive long after looks or novelty fade. Another reason connection is the ultimate trigger is because it creates exclusivity. You can admire many people, but you only feel deeply connected to a few. That scarcity makes connection precious. When you share a moment of genuine connection with someone, it feels like a secret only the two of you understand. It's inside jokes, shared glances, and conversations that go deeper than the surface. That exclusivity is intoxicating because it separates you from the crowd. Suddenly, it's not just about attraction, it's about a bond that feels irreplaceable. And here's the truth, people don't chase beauty, they chase rarity. And nothing is rarer than the feeling of being deeply connected with another human being in a world full of distractions and superficiality. Connection also creates emotional intensity. It's the reason you can't stop thinking about someone after a deep conversation, or why a simple smile lingers in your memory. That emotional intensity happens because your brain attaches significance to moments of connection. It's not the words themselves, it's the meaning behind them, the feeling they create. When you feel seen and understood, dopamine and oxytocin flood your system, anchoring that person in your mind. That's why you replay their voice in your head, check your phone for their messages, and crave their presence. Connection wires the brain to associate pleasure and comfort with someone's energy, and once that wiring happens, attraction becomes nearly impossible to shake. The beauty of connection is that it's not about perfection, it's about presence. People often think they need the perfect thing to say, the most polished appearance, or the right moves. But connection comes from being real. It's in asking thoughtful questions, truly listening, laughing at yourself, and sharing stories that reveal who you are. It's in giving someone the gift of your undivided attention in a world where attention is scattered. Presence is rare, and that's why it's so powerful. When you make someone feel like they're the only person in the room, even for a moment, that feeling lingers. And the more present you are, the deeper the connection grows, until attraction is no longer a choice, it's instinctual. If you want to create connection, focus on emotional investment. Don't just show interest in what someone does, show interest in who they are. Ask questions that go beyond the surface. Celebrate their passions. Acknowledge their struggles. When you engage with someone's inner world, you unlock a bond that no physical feature can compete with. This doesn't mean oversharing or forcing intimacy. It means creating space for depth. When someone feels you genuinely care, they feel safe to reveal more. And the more they reveal, the stronger the bond becomes. That emotional investment is the real secret to making someone lose control. Because while looks fade and charm comes and goes, connection makes someone feel addicted to you. Connection is the ultimate trigger because it makes attraction unshakable. You can admire many, you can flirt with several, but deep connection binds you to one. It transforms attraction from surface-level chemistry into something profound, magnetic, and lasting. It's the difference between someone remembering your face for a moment and remembering your energy for a lifetime. And the truth is, anyone can build connection. It's not about being perfect, it's about being intentional. When you lead with authenticity, presence, and care, you create bonds that are unforgettable. And once you master that, you'll realize why connection outshines every other factor in attraction. It doesn't just capture attention, it captures the heart. Attraction isn't about luck, tricks, or competing with anyone else. It's about understanding the deeper layers that truly make someone lose control around you. We've seen that looks can spark interest, but it's the psychology behind attraction that keeps it alive. Confidence becomes the magnet that draws people closer. And ultimately, connection is the trigger that makes someone stay, remember, and crave more of you. The real power lies not in being perfect, but in being intentional, present, authentic, and unafraid to own your worth. Because when you step into that space, you stop chasing and start attracting. You stop questioning your value and start radiating it. And that's when attraction stops being a game and becomes a natural result of who you are. Remember, this true magnetism isn't found in appearance alone. It's found in the way you make someone feel.